Hello everyone! Today we are going to crochet this spacious bag with a very unique design. You can make this bag in any size and use any kind of yarn. You can carry the bag like this, or you can carry it like this. All the details on how to crochet this bag are coming up next in the video. Let us take a closer look at the bag. As I mentioned before, you can carry the bag this way. Or you can also carry it like this. You can use any handles you like for this bag. You could use leather, you could use wooden ones, or you can do what I did and use a textile strap. My handles are quite short so that I can carry it in my hands. This is a medium-sized bag, but you can crochet it in any size that you need. You can also make the bag as thick as you want. I decided to make mine quite thick, so it turned out to be a bit of a basket-style bag. You can either sew in a zipper at the top or attach a snap button. I am going to sew in a snap button. This is how the bag looks on the inside. If you want, you can sew a lining for the bag, or you can just leave it as it is. Now I am going to measure the dimensions of my bag. Here we have a square. Its length and width are the same. In the finished bag, the side of this square is approximately 23 centimeters. Now let us measure the thickness or the depth of the bag. It is about 15 centimeters. But you can make it absolutely any size, and the depth can be smaller or larger. It all depends on your wishes and needs. So to crochet this bag, we need 2 squares like these. I explained and showed how to crochet them in detail in my previous video. You can find a link to that tutorial in the upper right corner of the screen. You need to crochet 2 identical squares for the bag. For this bag, I crocheted 2 squares starting with 15 chain stitches, just like I showed in the previous video. The only difference from the last video is that you should not cut the working yarn at the very end. You might need it when joining all the parts together at the finish. Given the length of my central piece, I will not need it, but you might. In that case, secure the last loop at the end of each square, and if you have a tail of yarn left, you do not have to cut it. But if you do not have a tail left, do not worry. Everything will work out fine without it. So we have our 2 squares. We will need to join them here, but for that we are going to need one more piece, one like this. And the width of this specific piece will determine the depth or the thickness of the bag. Now let me measure the squares. Here, from the center where we started crocheting each square, the distance is approximately 16 centimeters. And the length of the side of the square is about 22 centimeters. If you want a larger bag, you will need to crochet larger squares. I explained how to do that in my previous video. The width of the piece that we will use to connect the squares, which determines the width of the bag, is about 14 centimeters for me. But again, you can make it narrower or wider. It is entirely up to you. One more thing, I used one type of yarn for the squares and a different one for the middle piece. The yarn colors are similar, but they have different thicknesses. Because of this, my middle piece is thinner. I did this on purpose so that this part would be more flexible and bend easily, while the squares themselves hold their shape well. So let us start crocheting this connecting piece. I am starting by making 13 chain stitches. You can make any other number of chain stitches that you need, depending on how thick you want your bag to be. The more chain stitches you make, the thicker your bag will be. And the fewer stitches you make, the smaller the thickness will be. And look here, we have a braid pattern. To get this look, we are going to crochet the first row in a special way. We will crochet the first row by working into the back of the foundation chain. There are these loops right there. We will crochet the first row specifically into those. This is so that both the beginning and the end of our work look exactly the same, with those beautiful braid edges. So we make one turning chain and now we crochet single crochet stitches, catching this loop right here. And we continue like this, crocheting 13 single crochet stitches. Now look, we have a braid on one side and we have a braid on the other side as well. This will give our piece a very neat look once it is finished. Now we are reaching the end of the first row. Here is our last stitch. Here you can crochet a single crochet into any part of the stitch. We are going to tighten this stitch anyway. Pull on the tail of the yarn, and there we have it, the first row is finished. Now we are going to make a turning chain and crochet the second row while hiding the yarn tail at the same time. To do this, we pull the hook through like this, pull the yarn tail out, and we will lay it along here to hide it. So turn your work over. We have these braids at the top, and we are going to crochet into the back loops only. That is this part right here. In this row, we crochet single crochet stitches into the back loops only. And at the beginning, as we crochet the row, we will hide the tail from the beginning of our work inside the stitches. This is how we do it. So we have crocheted the stitches and hidden the yarn tail at the same time. Later we will cut this part off. Continue crocheting single crochet stitches into the back loops only until the end of the row. I am making 13, but you should make the number that you need based on your yarn thickness and the desired thickness of the bag. Do not forget about the last stitch, make sure to crochet that one too. The work looks like this. Let us keep going. Make a turning chain, turn the work over. And again we crochet single crochet stitches into the back loops only. Continue this way for as many rows as you need to get the piece to the right size. Now I have finished my rows and I have this little tail left. I just pull the yarn through and tighten it. You can hide it right away. You can figure out how long this piece needs to be by holding it up to the square you crocheted, like this. On my bag, this piece does not reach the very top of the squares. You can decide for yourself what works best for you. You can make this piece a bit shorter like I did. Or you can make it longer so that it reaches the very corner of the square. If your centerpiece reaches the corner, then the yarn tails you left when crocheting the squares will be useful for joining the squares to the center part. If you crochet the centerpiece shorter, like mine, then you can finish the square completely and hide the yarn tail right away, just like I showed in the last video. Now I am calculating how to place the bag parts so that everything turns out symmetrical. On the right side I have 9 of these ridges, which equals 18 rows. And this is roughly how I am going to join the pieces together. Now I will mark it with markers to help me see where the corners should be. We have marked it here, and now I am marking where to start attaching the centerpiece to the square. As you can see, I am not starting the attachment from the corner of the square, but a bit lower down. I will mark these spots with markers as well. The next step is to attach the centerpiece to the squares. I am going to join them on the right side. We take the square with the right side facing up and the center piece with the right side facing up as well. Place them together like this and we will join them using a crochet hook. Here are our first stitches. First, leave a bit of yarn to hide later. Join the pieces together like this. If you find it difficult to join the pieces using only the hook at first, you can use your hands to help. It is a bit awkward in the beginning, but that is fine. Now I am pulling the loops from both sides, and we have our first braid. Continue joining them using the same principle. A loop from this side, a loop from the other side, catch the yarn and pull it through. You can use your hand to help, it might even be a little easier. Let me show you up close so you can see better exactly what to do. And so we continue joining the centerpiece and the square until we reach the bottom corner. We have reached the corner of the square. This is the last stitch before the corner. Since our markers line up perfectly, it means we have joined them correctly and the pieces have not shifted. This is the corner stitch and we are going to work into it twice. Watch how we form the corner. We catch the loop here and the loop here. Then for the next stitch, we go into the corner here and attach it to that same stitch on the other side. This allows us to create a very neat corner. And now we continue joining the bag pieces using exactly the same principle. I am going to move this marker to the other side to use as a guide when I attach the second square to this piece. Continue joining the parts just as we did before. At the second corner, join them the same way I showed you for the first one. As a result, we are joining the bag parts on the right side and at the same time creating a decorative braid along the seam. So we have joined it here, we joined it along the bottom of the bag, and now we have reached the end of the seam for the centerpiece and the square. Now I will show you how to finish the join here and what to do next. If you want, you can crochet the side piece a bit longer, and then the join, the beginning of the side piece, will start right at the corner of the square. That is also an option. So we have crocheted the last stitch. Now to make this braid that goes around the square continue further and finish up here, we are going to crochet slip stitches along the edge of the square. This will create the illusion that the braid continues along the edge. Look closely, we are inserting the hook right along the very edge of the square. And we crochet all along the top of the square. The great thing about this bag is that you can make it any size and any thickness. You can even make the center part shorter than mine. We have reached the spot where we first started joining the bag pieces with our slip stitches. And here we need to finish this braid join neatly and invisibly. We want it to look like the braid never ends. I will show you how to do that now. You should cut your yarn. I am not going to, as I only have a short tail of yarn left. And then do it like this. There we go. You can adjust it a bit to make it look neater. It gives the perfect impression that the braid has no beginning or end. It is all very tidy. Now you can cut the ends and hide them. So we have joined the center piece to one square. Now we join the second square to the center piece. Do everything exactly the same way as we did for the first one. Take the square and place it against the center piece with the right side facing out. Do it all just like we did with the first square. Now that we have joined them and hidden all the yarn tails, the bag is finished. Make sure to steam block it, that way all the stitches will look even neater. You can sew in a snap button here and attach a zipper. You can use any handles you like for the bag. I did not have any ready-made handles, so I made them from a textile strap. But you could also sew on special leather or wooden handles that are sold in craft stores. The bag is finished. Thank you for crocheting with me. Subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so you do not miss any new videos. See you in the next videos.